Hey guys, welcome back. So we are doing another kind of fall appropriate tutorial today. We are going to be creating this look right here, which is kind of a wearable smoky purple eye, if you will. I am using the Melt Cosmetics She's in Parties palette. You don't have to use this palette. I do tell you the shades in the tutorial portion, and if you have shades that are similar within your collection already, just pull those out. You certainly don't have to purchase this palette. It is a nice one. I do like having it in my collection, and I've used it multiple times, and it's great. It's very enjoyable. So if you've had your eye on it, I would say, I don't know, if you like the color story, go for it. It's a good formula. There is some fallout, so something worth keeping in mind. The shimmer shade that I use definitely rained down onto my cheeks and I had to brush it away, but not a big deal for me. So anyway, you guys, let's get into this eye look right here, and let's see how it came together. All right, guys, so let's get into it. Let's recreate this look over here on this eye. What you are going to need is either the Melt Cosmetics She's in Parties palette, which is what I'm using today. If you already have it in your collection, great. If you don't, I do really like this palette. I've used it quite a bit and I do like the formula, but you don't have to use this one. If you have the shades that are similar in other palettes, just pull those out. But what you're looking for is mostly, yeah, I used 4 different shades from this. So the first 2 are my blending crease shades, and they are going to be these 2 right here. So if you have something that is in the lavender and kind of dusty mauve family, these 2 would be great to have. This here is the shimmer that I use on my lid. I'm just going to give you guys a swatch of it here. You can see it's kind of a, it's like a purple taupe. Yeah. Admittedly, I don't love the texture of these Melt shimmers quite as much as some of my other palettes because it's pretty chunky and it causes quite a bit of fallout. It's workable, but it's not my favorite. And then you'll also need a burgundy shade like this guy back here. This one's called Mean Streak. I do use this to deepen up the crease just ever so slightly. So yeah, those are the 4 shades that I use from the palette. So Strangelove is the shimmer, Total Immortal and Last Caress are the 2 kind of transition crease shades, and then to deepen it up is Mean Streak. So let's go to town here. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take where are all my brushes that I hadn't laid out? I do have an eye primer on. Today I am using the Viseart eye primer again. I love this. It doesn't make my eyes water. If you struggle with your eyes watering, take a look at your eye primer, because that is why my eyes were watering all the time. It took me a little while to figure that out. They also water from allergies, so just worth keeping in mind. So I've already actually done this, but I'll just show you really quickly again. So I just take a fluffy brush. Now I'm having to go into my Viseart palette here because I don't have a matte skin tone shade in this palette here. I don't feel like this She's in Parties palette is very complete. Like, you do need some other shadows to be able to create a look out of this effectively, at least for me personally. But it is a great like purple plum mauve type palette to have in your collection, especially for this time of year. But I'm just taking a matte like skin tone shade, and I am gonna do this in my mirror, guys. Sorry. The viewfinder is kind of far away from me, so yeah. So what I'm doing this for is just to help with the blending, and then also to help with setting the eye primer. There we go. Brain fart, sorry. When I first put the eye primer on, it does tend to be sticky for a little while. Eventually it kind of dries down on its own, but if I don't want to wait around for that, I just go over with a powder that is similar to my skin tone shade just to set it, and then I can go in right away, which is great. So, all right, let's start with our 2 crease shades. And I'm actually mixing these 2 together on the brush. So I'm using Total Immortal and Last Caress, these 2 right here. And I am doing my little trick that I like to do, which is to brush or not brush, but tap the product, in this case the eyeshadow, into the brush so that it doesn't do this big splat on your eyes when you go to deposit the crease color at first. It works the eyeshadow into the bristles, and then as you're blending, more of that color comes up through the bristles and you're able to build up the intensity a little bit. It's a really great way to apply eyeshadow that I find is a little less messy. There's quite a bit less fallout and you're not having to spend as much time blending. So I'm going to use my mirror. By the way, I have the Bella mirror here. I don't have the light on this today, but it is a lighted makeup mirror. So I'm not going to have the light on because I feel like it's too much with the ring light on top of it. So I'm going to start by placing those two shades just in my crease. For my eye shape, I prefer to go slightly above the crease on the outer part of the eye to create that cat eye effect. And I also go down onto the lid as well. And I'm just looking to slowly build up some color here. That squeaking that you hear, Alfie is in the room with me. And he has a little ball with him, so from time to time you might hear a squeak. Oh, you can probably see him. There he is, the Dark Prince. A little more tippity tap here, and let's deepen up that crease just a little more. As I go in towards the inner corner of my eye, I really stay exclusively in my crease. I don't go above it. I only go above the crease on the outer part, which helps with that like lifting effect out here. I like that look. Your eye shape may be totally different. Do what works for your eye shape. By the way, I love this lip color that I have on today. I hope this isn't discontinued. I'll put what's on the rest of my face in the description box per usual, but this is a Laura Mercier lipstick. It's the Creme Smooth lip color. I think they have discontinued these, but it's the shade Spiced Rose. Oh, I love this. I love this. So nice. Anyway, let's get back to this. So now that I have the start of this nice kind of lavender, plummy, smoky look here, I do want to deepen this up because I'm looking for just a little bit more drama. But before I do, I am going to take a brow liner brush and I'm going to go into the shade Last Caress, which is the darker of the two matte shades that I started out with, and I'm going to line my lower lash line with that. I focus most of the color on the outer part of my eye, making it slightly thicker, and then as I go to the inner part of my eye, my inner corner, I sort of fade it out a little bit and make it really thin. So it goes from thick to thin, which is also what I mimic with my eyeliner on the top. And then I do like to take a clean Q-tip and just sort of diffuse that a little bit by running it along the edge. Q-tips are great tools to have. Good for so many different things. Okay, next I'm going to go in with that same crease brush. I don't switch up brushes very often. Sometimes I'll brush off the excess, but I don't really have to here. And I'm going to go into the shade Mean Streak. Sir, what are you doing? Hey, Alfie, what are you doing? Can you stop? Come here. Be a nice boy. Jeez. Okay, so let's go into Mean Streak. Alfie. Alfie Peanut, you stop it. That's right, I used your full name. Peanut came from Stella. Okay, let's plop this right on top of our original crease shade. So you can see I kind of placed where I wanted. And then I am going to tap off a little bit more of the excess. This actually does get rid of some of the powder. If you do this, you're basically, I don't know, I love this tapping thing so much more because you're actually working the product into the bristles and then you're able to use it. Like when you do this, you're just floofing it around the room. Why not use it on your eye, right? Anyway, so getting a little bit of that excess off, and then I'm just blending that into the crease and into Alfie. Alfie, come here. Come here. You want this? Here. Why don't you play with that? That's a good distraction. Okay, so next I'm taking a fluffy brush. This is one from Kevin Aquan. This is actually, I think, his sculpting brush. You're supposed to use it for contour, but hello, I have the face of I have a very large face. I was gonna like compare it to like something dramatic, but I just have a big face and this just is not quite large enough for me. So I'm going to go into Total Immortal again and put a little bit onto this contour brush. It actually works great on my eyes to help with blending things out. So doing my little tapping trick. And now I'm going to take that around where I placed that Mean Streak shade, and I'm looking to blend it to create, again, a gradient, not a like major pop of color and then nothing. I really want a gradient going up to my brows. Alfie, you're killing me, buddy. Alfie, come here. Alfie, what is on that rug over there? Is my question. I mean, I don't see anything. Just what makes me concerned. So I'm really using this brush to blend everything and again help with that beautiful gradient going up. Just making sure they look the same on both sides. I did this eye much earlier today, but yeah, we're getting it. So next I am going to go in with the Strange Love shade, which is that shimmer, and I'm just putting that on my lid. I am using just a clean finger because the fallout is slightly less with this particular formula. Using a brush really made a mess earlier. I had to get rid of quite a bit of shimmer on my face, so this works a little better. I am putting that lid shade all over my lids, even on the outer part of my eye here where I did originally have that darker crease shade come down onto the lid. Okay, and then once again, just quickly making sure that we're even on both sides. And now it's time for the liner. I'm just using a Smashbox number 33. This is their smudger brush. Now, I've had this for a number of years. I don't know if they still have this. I am going to go into a little bit of black from my Viseart Theory Chroma palette, but then I'm also going to go in and pick up some of the Mean Streak shade, which is that dark burgundy that we used, and I'm going to line my lash line. So I'm focusing most of that color on the outer part of my lash line, thicker towards this outer part, thinner as I go in towards the inner corner. It's admittedly a little bit hard to do because this brush is kind of blunt, but I like the concentration of powder that this puts on the lash line. It also creates a heck of a lot of fallout, so I'll have to clean that up, but it's fine. Really, probably your best bet is to just use the Zoeva brow liner brush as well, and normally that's what I do, but I wanted like a thicker line, and this just helps me get it faster. So I'm now taking just a fluffy brush. This one is from Marc Jacobs, yeah. This is their bronzer brush. And I'm taking that fallout and I'm brushing it away. So I can do this because I use powder foundation, so it's very easy for me to brush it away. If you use liquid, I would say do your eyeshadow first, because there was that little bit of shimmer there. I do have to go over and kind of pick that up with a wet sponge, but that's okay. There we go. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is my mascara off camera, and then we'll come back and we'll take a look at the finished look. And we're back. Okay, gosh, mascara helps, doesn't it? That really finishes off an eye look. All right, you guys, so this is the finished look. Little smoky. I feel like this is kind of my go-to look whenever I use this particular palette. I've used it a number of times since getting it, and it is kind of the easiest look that I've done, and it looks really nice with my green eyes. So it's the ones that I tend to go back to time and time again. But this is a great palette. I mean, you could definitely switch up your lid shade a little bit. I bet if you really wanted to smoke this out, if you did Sleepwalk on the lid, which has slightly less shimmer than the Strange Love shade that we were using on the lid today, you could really smoke this out a little bit more by going with this and then sticking with those original crease shades that we were working with here. I think that would be really pretty too. So anyway, I love this palette. I think it's beautiful, and I really enjoyed the look. So yeah, this is kind of my go-to. Let me know if you decide to recreate it, and if you use this particular palette or what palette you pulled out of your collection to be able to do this. Yeah, and again, I will put links for what is on the rest of my face in the description box down below. Have a great rest of your day, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.